I want to talk about Grindergate with Mike Johnson. And do you want? Why don't you set it up?
Yeah,
But let me
dude.
before you do.
It's funny how a viral thing can become so top of mind for people. But Mike Johnson's Grindr profile. Yes, go ahead. We'll get to it.
If you work in a political campaign in the Republican Party, at some point in the campaign, right, someone in all the years, is going to come and say your opponent's gay. There's some type of sexual something
There's
there.
a side piece.
Yeah. It's almost never true, but it's almost always true when it's a far right Christian. And the great Christopher Hitchens, right, had a great quote about this, about the inevitability, right, of where these guys wind up, and he had some colorful colloquial phrase. But at any rate, at the Charlie Kirk funeral, and this is true, the Grindr accounts exploded.
Mm-hmm.
The Grindr accounts explode at every Republican National Committee, at every CPAC event. Matt Schlapp, the sexual predators, is a perfect example of this. And so there's an accusation floating there's an accusation floating on the internet now.
Yeah.
About
Speaker
Mike
MAGA
Johnson.
Mike Johnson having a Grindr profile. Well, listen, dude, you know what? This has been one of the great stories that comes with all kinds of analytical data that would lean its way into there's something here, because it's not just CPAC in Florida last year where they saw an 86% uptick in Grindr activity. It's not just the Charlie Kirk Memorial in Arizona, Scottsdale, where they saw a 72% uptick in activity. And Grindr's cool. They're like, yeah, we'll maybe release this information if these guys keep going after, LGBTQ rights and trans people and, equalization of marriage in this country. And so, which is what I love about these gay dating apps. They're like, oh, yeah, these guys are coming after us. Wait till we tell you who's involved. Now, there was an assertion made 3 days ago by a gentleman, which you can go to deanblundell.substack.com and read about, who said he had Mike Johnson's entire Grindr profile. Now, the gentleman I actually do a Substack live with, called the 5 Stack, it's every single day, 3:00 here, is gay. And he is also a former CBS producer who knows that Mike Johnson has a different proclivity other than, being with his wife. And so, these are rumors that have kind of curated themselves. And it's like a hockey rumor. That guy slept with that guy's wife. That's why he got traded, da, 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 da. But there's so much smoke behind Mike Johnson and the Republican Party that it has spurned an entire other conversation about, how many of these gay-hating, anti-LGBTQ, anti-trans people who are parroting Trump's bullshit are secretly super into same-sex relations. And it appears after not just one, not two, but 3 different videos that this gentleman has put out, which get, completely, as he puts these videos out, each video is like, I'm even more concerned. I don't know what's going to happen. But he promised today he would release Mike Johnson's entire Grindr profile. Now, the government shut down last night at around midnight, if I'm not mistaken, and we're about 15, 16 hours into a government shutdown. So we're not going to find out what the issue is. We're not going to see Mike Johnson copped anything. But what we are seeing is the trigger for this, which is Adelita Grijalva, who is the Democrat from Arizona who won that special election, who might be the 218th signature on the discharge petition for the Jeffrey Epstein discharge petition, so we can actually see, these Epstein files. she's ready to sign off on this, but Mike Johnson's been slow playing this. So this gentleman was like, "Hey, listen, Mike, if you don't if you don't swear her in, I'm gonna put out your entire Grinder profile, screenshots, pictures, conversations, et cetera, et cetera." And, what that has done is it's lit a fire under people when it comes to the relationship that Republicans have with demeaning the LGBTQ community, with going after trans rights, which, has been a massive pillar of their, entire, hate regime, which is how can you let, 0.001% of the population compete in women's sports? It's fucking bizarre. But this gentleman has kind of upped the ante, and now 3 times he said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna come up with these receipts." To this point, I don't know that he has, but I've been doing this with you for an hour, and, it has shaken the Republican Party to the point where, from what I understand, people in the GOP are now going around going, "Hey, delete your Grindr accounts. Get rid of any gay dating apps that you might have. We need to present a united front," because this is such a pervasive issue in the Republican Party, because you've got a whole bunch of people in the Republican Party who serve at the pleasure of their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This is antithetical to the platform of the Republican Party, who've been going after this community for a long period of time. And Mike Johnson's no stranger to that. His wife, if I'm not mistaken, has said several times she is a professional at converting gay people back to being straight. So listen, I'm not gay. I don't understand, how conversion therapy works. I can tell you that if you're born gay, according to my gay friends, you are gay. And my understanding is that Mike Johnson has some skeletons he's trying to hide. So be that as it
I
may,
mean, it's just it works the same way, right? As it does, for us, like, as a straight, it's like you like what you like, right? Like, I mean, it's innate, right? So the idea that Mike Johnson's crack pipe wife is gonna, like, attach electrodes to people, torture kids, do whatever fucking weird bullshit she's gonna do to them, right? And scar them psychologically. That's why all this conversion therapy, is torture. And all this. I'll say this about like Mike Johnson, like on a serious level. Um, so all the dehumanization and all of that of people who are like you, if you are gay, which he may or may not be, depending on what we see from the release of the information, which may or may not be released, but just psychologically, right? I mean, the wow, right? It's deep, right? Like the damage, right? Like just how messed up the guy would be, right? Self-loathing to do that. Moving all of that out of the equation, the bigger issue is he's second in line to the office of president of the United States, and he's got a big secret, and like he's in effect being blackmailed by this guy,
Yep.
right? You do something, right, like through an official act, right, or not do it, and there's a consequence, and the consequence is your secret's going to be exposed.
Mhm.
And that is a national security danger, right? And that's why, right, from a counterintelligence perspective, they don't like anybody having secrets. And so Mike Johnson, I think we're about to find out if he's a guy, right, with a lot of secrets. And there's no small number over the last 20 years of Republican members of Congress. And I think it's important to remember that Denny Hastert was a Speaker of the House. He was a child molester.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, he
Yep.
went to prison. So, it wouldn't surprise me at all if you look at, the kind of the cast of characters of all these people. But let's keep an eye on that one.
Well, yeah, but you've hung out, like you've worked with some of these guys. What is, and I asked Zev this morning. He's gay. He's my podcast partner at Substack, Zev Shalev. And I said to him, what is it about the GOP? What is it? Is it, the bent and the performance they have to put on for their evangelical lobby groups? What is it? Like, why do we have the Matt Schlapps and the Mike Johnsons allegedly, and all the alleged Lindsey Grahams of the world? What is this proclivity that they're trying to hide? because I don't understand it. Like this is the party of family. This is the James Dobson focus on the family, Jerry Falwell party. So to me, this is like it's not revisionist history, but at the same time, it is. It appears to me that there is a major repression in the GOP.
I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.